What's going on, guys? JPS back from the video, and I'm here with Arturo.
What's up?
And we're going to be watching 4 drinking and alcohol differences, USA versus Germany. So as you guys know, drinking is one of the main differences when you compare these two countries. Germany, I think you have a lot more freedom when it comes to alcohol. USA, we're so restrictive when it comes to clubs shutting early and drinking in public. What do you know about drinking in Germany? I think I've told you some some stories.
I've heard some stories here from Joel. But Germany definitely seems like the better place for drinking. That's what I know so far, so I'm definitely excited to see what these differences are.
So yeah, we're going to get right into this. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? We are Diana and Phil. Diana's from the United States and I am from Germany, and in this video we're gonna talk about 4 drinking differences between the US and Germany.
Point number 1 is the drinking age. This is probably the most exciting for young people in the US because our drinking age in the United States is 21.
Exciting only would it be if they come to Germany, because our drinking age is different. For beer and wine it's 16, and for hard
16?
liquor it's 18.
Nah, I thought
and
it was
there's
like
even those
18. Fool.
Honestly, I thought it was 18 all around. I didn't realize that.
Holy, 16 is wild.
And also, I think someone told me that I think cigarettes are 18 right now, but it used to be 16 for cigarettes too.
Wow.
Like, isn't that just...
Yeah, that's
it's so shocking to just hear that.
That's like 2 different ends of the spectrum. You got 21, it's like 16. 16 is about
5 years, bro?
Yeah, what do you think about that, 16? That seems a bit young, honestly. I feel like 18 is kind of solid.
You think 16 is young, but they've been drinking with their families by this time. They start them off sometimes 11.
That's true. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think also, like, someone made a point. In the United States, you're exploring alcohol and all this stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
In Europe, they're trying to get off of it. You know, that's what someone commented. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's true. They have a lot more experience with it when they get to ages or benchmarks like 18 or 21. So
Right.
probably make better decisions. It's like a parent that doesn't let their kid do anything. And what happens when that kid goes off to college?
They go wild.
Well, that's the kid you see getting kicked out. Like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've heard like in the U.S. it's like a huge thing when you're 21. Like you like kind of like just binge drink right away. But in like Germany and whatnot, it's kind of like you kind of slowly introduced to it, so you don't go crazy like that. It's kind of you just know your limits and know yourself around alcohol pretty well. So
Little clause that you are allowed to drink at the age of 14 under supervision of like your parents. 14, that's legally 7 years younger than the 21 in the US.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy because in the US you can do a lot of things at the age of 18. However, you can't drink, but you can vote, you can serve your country, you can buy a lotto ticket. So that's usually the biggest argument for lowering the drinking age. However, like a lot of laws in the US, it does vary heavily from state to state. You mentioned that with parental consent you can drink under the age of 16 in Germany. You can do that in the US too, depending on the state, and they have certain reasons, religious reasons or parental consent, you're allowed to drink in a home private environment. But it varies heavily from state to
Getting
state.
drunk with your mom.
Yes. So what's really weird to me is my dad used to always talk about how college, it was so crazy because everyone was able to drink. It was like freedom. However, they changed the laws. Obviously, by the time I went to college.
So back in the day it was 18 for them, right?
Yeah.
And then they changed it to 21.
And they changed it in the mid 80s, I think, in 1984. They changed the drinking age. They raised the drinking age to 21.
So fake IDs became a thing.
To get into bars or purchase alcohol and stuff like that. That's a little more popular nowadays.
Let me ask you that. How bad is it to be caught with a fake ID? What kind of offense is that?
It's very bad. So I know a few people in college who were caught with using a fake ID. There are a lot of legal issues because it could be identity fraud, especially if you use someone else's name and not your name.
Yeah.
Most people get a fake ID from a different state too, like an out-of-state ID.
It's weird to me because it sounds very serious, but it seems so common, so normal in the US. I think the German mind, the following the rules thing would be like, we would be very, very nervous, very unsure if we'd ever get a fake ID.
It's a little different experience when you tell me.
I think I could speak for most college kids. It's pretty widespread. Fake IDs are just the norm if you're under 21. Because most of your college years you're under 21. So what are you gonna do?
No, literally.
Just be abstinent? Like,
yeah.
Come on, man.
That's kind of like not even a choice.
And I know it's dumb.
I know some people got their like fake IDs and they're like already like 16, 17, like in high school.
Yeah, no, that's
like,
wild.
Yeah, no. Like that could never. Me and Joel don't have fake IDs. We follow the law. We're great citizens, guys.
Your stories of being a kid in Germany and being able to openly drink and stuff at the age of 13.
Yeah, well, to be honest, we started partying and drinking at the age of 13, which is super young. And I don't know which one I think is the better way to do it. I think 21 is definitely too old. I think the 16, 18 rule is potentially okay. I think 14 is definitely too young, even under supervision. Where I come from, on a village, people were drinking like crazy in their teens.
Yeah. Well, I think it has a lot to do. I remember when we were learning about this law in school, they mentioned because a lot of states had different laws. So a lot of people that lived on those border states would just drive over the borders because they could drink at age 18. They would drive over the border, get drunk, and then drive back home. And that would cause a lot of DUIs. They say that raising the drinking age lowered the DUIs and DUI accidents. I'm not really sure. I haven't looked into the data, but that was one of the reasons why the drinking age was raised.
Doesn't matter which age, you should just not use a car when you go drinking.
Of course. And I especially think nowadays it's a little different because we have Uber and Lyft and a lot of taxi service apps that it just makes it a little more accessible to not drink and drive. Don't drink and drive.
Okay, point number 2 is gonna be buying alcohol.
Yeah, this is so interesting to me. Again, I think it varies from state to state how you can buy alcohol in the US. Some states require that you go to a separate liquor store, like for beer, wine, liquor, and everything, while other states allow sales in the supermarkets with just beer and wine. Some stores you have to show an ID and you can't even be under the age of 21 to enter the store or premises. But that's more for liquor
That's so
stores.
funny.
But I do remember when I was on a work trip to New Jersey, we couldn't just go into a supermarket to get wine. We had to go into like a separate liquor store, I'm pretty sure. It was different because in South Carolina you can usually get that in a supermarket.
Yeah, so that's usually how I know it. Like, I don't even know if we have.
I wish we were one of those states where you could just grab it in like a convenience store or something, but we're not. You have to go to the liquor store, and that can be a pain because maybe there's only one liquor store near you or whatever the case may be. And
yeah, it definitely can be a hassle. I think Virginia, you can get beer and wine or something in the grocery store. Remember me and my friends one time we went up there and we just got like hella Four Locos and like bottled beer. Like it was pretty lit. But we had to make that long ass drive. It was like, it definitely can be a hassle.
We have liquor stores per se. We have some drink stores where you can get all kinds of drinks, like non-alcoholic and alcoholic, like a Getränkemarkt, a drink market. But usually all the drinks are in the supermarkets as well. So liquor is just openly displayed on the shelves. Sometimes for the more expensive ones or in weird areas, they have them locked and you have to call somebody. They open that closet for you and then they carry the bottle to the checkout for you. And when you're there, you're like, and that bottle was for me too.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why.
We've never purchased an expensive one.
And even funny, at the checkout, they have single chocolate bars for you to take, but also little tiny bottles of liquor, like Jägermeister or vodka bottles.
You can get a small little mini bottle while you check out. Yeah, that's so interesting because even if you get like wine at a supermarket, sometimes they'll check the ID of the person you're with too. They would ask for both of our IDs, even if I'm the one purchasing
That's so stupid. I have the best story about that. We were on a class trip to the Dars, which is a peninsula in the Baltic Sea, Germany. And we were all 15, and one of my closest friends was 16 already. And we went to a gas station and we wanted to buy a bunch of beer, so we grabbed like six packs or whatever. And they're like, we can't sell that to you. And he's like, but I'm 16. And they were like, no, we can't sell that to you. It's not for you, it's for them. And we're like, but I'm 16. It's legally, like, he can't buy any amount. They said, we'll sell you 2 bottles. I think that was the stupidest thing. We got so angry. If he's 16, he can't buy it. He just can buy it. But they didn't let us.
I thought it would have been different in Germany. They would be like, it doesn't matter.
It should be, logically, but it wasn't. Before we continue, I wanted to take a quick moment and remind you guys, please like the video. Every little interaction helps the YouTube algorithm. If you want to further support us, you can do that on Patreon. It's Patreon. Guys,
bro, the fact that they were doing that at 15 is insane.
What, the drinking?
Yes.
That's like, normal in Germany, I think.
Imagine being 16, you just go out to go get some beers with your boy. Like, that's insane.
That's legal.
That's the norm for them. Holy.
That's what I'm saying. So like when I was in Germany, like walking around, I was 20, and I'm walking around like, oh my god, I can drink. Like I'm walking down the street, guys. I have a bottle of beer in my hand. Like people were in the comments were like, why is this guy so excited? Like what?
Calm down.
Yeah. That's a big cultural difference.
Yeah.
Number 3 is gonna be the cost or the price of alcohol.
So if you don't know, we price compare a lot and for everything. Every time we go into a different city, we're usually price comparing. Phil likes to price compare the chicken to everywhere we go. It's like a thing he does. And we notice that the prices in the US for alcohol are more expensive than Germany. A lot of price comparison sites will tell you this as well, but you can definitely feel it in your wallet a little bit when you're buying wine or beer in a restaurant or even a supermarket in the US compared to Germany.
It's very different. Like, let's talk about restaurant. You can get a beer for like 2 to 4 euros maybe, or a half a liter beer if you're lucky you get for 2 euros sometimes on a special evening or so, which is pretty cheap. But I also more noticed it so in the supermarkets. And that's even when you travel around in Europe. If you go out of Germany, alcohol is more expensive. Mostly a bottle of beer is freaking cheap in Germany. Or even a bottle of vodka. That's what we drank when we were kids. We got the cheapest vodka. That's why I know there's always vodka in a supermarket for $4.99. And we're talking about this standard 0.7
$4.99. That is actually insane. That's for like 2-3 heads. $4.99. That's like $1 each.
I've had the cheapest bottle of vodka from the liquor store I went to before. Plastic bottle. Tastes like Purell hand sanitizer.
Here?
But it was like $10, $15 around there. Like $4.99?
Yeah.
It's a different ball game, bro.
That's an absolute steal.
You just throw a 5 down and that bottle could get 2 people right.
Yeah.
Very right.
There's probably a lot more alcoholics in Germany with those prices. Are you kidding me?
We need to we need to look into that. I want to see how they're able to handle themselves.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how the U.S. would handle themselves if it was that cheap. Honestly, maybe it's for our own good. Maybe it's for our own good.
Liter bottle. Then you have the Gorbachev vodka, which is like $9, and a bottle of Smirnoff or Absolute vodka, which are the most bought here. I think that's super cheap compared to many other countries.
So crazy.
Obviously, it depends on the brand. One of my favorite vodkas is Tito's, and that's a little more expensive here. But you have comparable vodkas from surrounding European countries, and it's so much cheaper in Germany. It's kind of crazy when we do a side-by-side comparison, because we're talking about in Germany when we buy the alcohol, it has tax included, versus when you buy the alcohol in the US, usually tax is not included.
Another funny thing, beer in the restaurants is sometimes cheaper than water. If you order a pint of beer, it could be 3 euros, and if you order a comparable sized bottle of mineral water, it could be 4 euros. But there's a rule I heard that there always has to be one drink on the menu that has to be cheaper than beer.
Is that really?
Yeah, somebody pointed that out when we talked about this stuff before.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't really drink beer, but when we go to a restaurant and I see that the beer is cheaper, I'm like, should I just drink a beer instead of a water?
Before we continue with the video, quick message from today's sponsor, Nord.
Bro, I'm taking that beer every time. No, but that's a fact. One thing I didn't like about Germany is the price of water.
Yeah.
They don't really have water cups like that, unless you want to drink their tap water.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't really offer it, but they have like these bottles of sparkling water, which is water with gas. That's how they call it.
Yeah, welcome.
And then the regular water, but it gets expensive to keep buying bottles of water everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. It's also not the best to be drinking out of plastic bottles all the time too.
Yeah.
It's not the best, but yeah, it does seem pretty expensive, honestly. 4 euros for a bottle of water.
I would say on average it was like 2-3 euros, but that adds up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I could be drinking beer instead. Come on, bro.
All right, and our last point, number 4, is gonna be the open container.
So open container is a phrase we use in the US, and it's being allowed to walk around with alcohol openly. Like so. He's not 16 yet. So this usually refers to in public places like a park or a transportation system or the public street. A lot of places in the US you are not allowed to walk around openly with alcohol. Like I mentioned before, the laws vary heavily from state to state, and there are some cities and like areas where you're allowed to walk openly with alcohol. The first 2 that come to mind for me are Savannah, Georgia. There's this area where you can have open containers, and and New Orleans.
Vegas, right?
I guess maybe.
Vegas.
I've never
All
been
the
to
videos,
Vegas.
It should
they run
be.
around with their
Should.
big slushy
Yeah, they're big
alcohol.
for
Got the
hurricane
strippers in the
drinks.
casinos
I've never
out
been
there.
to Vegas, so maybe. So there are some areas where you're allowed to, but for the most part, you are not allowed to just go to a park nearby and have a picnic wine basket or something. You're
That's
just
so weird.
not allowed to do that.
Who's gonna
And we're
arrest it?
talking very little spots in a huge country. So
Yeah,
mostly
true.
you can say it's not allowed, and it's weird because in Germany, if you're legally allowed to drink, you can walk around on the street at any time of the day, drinking alcohol,
So tough.
carrying your bottle of vodka, whatever you want
God.
to do. It was totally normal for us to go pre-drinking to a bar, or you hang out in a park and you get beer from a kiosk or from the supermarket because it's cheaper as a student. That's just what you
Yo.
do in Germany as a student. You go in summer, sit outside somewhere and drink, and then later
That's
on
such a
you go
vibe,
partying.
like-
Bro,
That
bro,
is so-
That
I'm not
is
gonna lie,
such a
drinking
vibe.
bottles of beer in the park. Oh my god. That vibe was like unbeatable.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Holy, I can't even imagine, bro.
You can do it in the States, but your head is gonna be on a swivel. You'll be looking around maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think in the more rural parts and areas, like it doesn't really matter. Like whenever I go to the beach, there's always a ton of people drinking. So
yeah, you can. Yeah.
the U.S. open container laws are a bit malleable, especially like sporting events and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, like, when they tailgate,
Yeah,
all
they
those
got all
laws
of it
go
out.
out the window, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like you can't regulate it to a T, so you can't get
They
away
let
with it
and
sometimes.
the cops are there. They have to let that slide because everyone's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't have enough cops to stop all the people doing it.
It's
like,
usually when it's one person,
yeah, they'll single them out just to like make an example or something. I don't know.
or if people
they're
are
bored,
complaining. Yeah,
bored of eating
something
their
like
fucking donuts.
So used to that now. I'm afraid when I go back, I'll just forget and I'll just be like walking around with some wine or something.
It's not like we're doing that all the
That's
time.
true.
But yeah, that's usually the case here. It's funny though, in some places where I was like going out a lot in Göttingen, in one street they made it illegal to carry around the things anymore because there were too much trash and stuff lying around on the next day, I guess.
I lived in Charleston, South Carolina, which is a coastal city, and there are a lot of beaches. And I remember we would go to the beach and you have these koozies and you have your drink in them.
Koozie.
There's like a police patrol on a four-wheeler going to every group that's sitting on the beach, checking to see if they had alcohol or not,
Bro,
because you're not allowed to have
what?
alcohol. I was with my friends and they made her pull out of her koozie and show that it was a Dr. Pepper and not a beer, and then they were on their merry way because they find people. It's such a weird thing. Like if you're just going to enjoy yourself on the beach, why are you not allowed to have a beer? But I think it's specific beaches.
Yeah, dude, that guy's gonna be hated by everybody.
The trick is to cut out the Dr. Pepper and put
Oh.
that's the
Yo.
trick.
Yeah, I think Germans like to
That's
drink
looking
on the
bad
water
clutch.
too whenever there's a river. You just saw that in Düsseldorf where we were. A lot of people just sitting on the grass, on the water in summer especially, and just drinking wine. So if you want to have a nice little picnic, you can bring a wine bottle.
I cannot wait for the German Christmas markets so then you can openly have glühwein.
Oh yeah, it's another whole thing. The Christmas markets, all the glue wine, all the punches, and all
The
that good
meat,
stuff.
the
The
meat,
meat, yeah.
Me can't wait for December.
All right, so those were our 4 differences when it comes to drinking between Germany and the United States. Let us
All right. So what do you think?
Well, seems like those are all just pros for Germany, honestly. Like literally. No, like literally. Like,
All the
no,
way through.
No, I don't think there's anything that was like a plus for us there. It seems like they got that shit figured out.
All right. And you know what the craziest part about this video is?
Mm.
They didn't even talk about nightlife. They didn't even talk
Yeah,
about
this is all
nightlife.
like day picnic beach stuff. Nightlife, I can't imagine. Oh my, the way that would
Nightlife
turn
is
into-
like even a higher step up, bro.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, this is something that I'm coming to learn more and more of how like kind of crappy our alcohol situation is compared
Yeah.
to the rest of the world,
It is really crazy.
and I just don't get it, bro. It's like one of those mysteries, like
Right.
the guns and stuff. Okay, we have the Second Amendment. People have an affinity for guns.
Right.
I can see it. But the 21-year-old, bro,
Yeah, I thought this was it's supposed to be a land of the free.
like I can't really see both sides in that one, bro.
No.
I don't know what the other side is.
No, that's like I don't know. Like you can literally the biggest thing is you can serve and you can vote at 18.
And I don't think there's a single person in this country that really supports the 21 drinking age. I mean, there's probably some, but I feel like the majority
There's
are
always-
against it.
yeah.
Why is that not on the ballot?
Yeah, no, literally.
Forget
It's not
all this other
It's
stuff
barely
we're voting
discussed.
on.
It's not even on the news. Like you won't even see that. It's not. It's like it's kind of something they pushed aside. But it's like I don't know. It's not.
We got to be the change, bro. That's the only political issue I care about.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
We just gotta get a president that's focused on that. Imagine that was just his whole thing.
Yo, imagine the president, like his speeches and campaigns, he has a vodka bottle and he's just like in this drunken slur. Vote for me.
He's always drunk.
Just come up with some like drunk slogan.
Bro, he made like a little rap song or something. He would get all the young people's votes.
And then look, he'll say, for my constituents, I'm gonna lower the price for all types of alcohol.
Type.
I'm gonna change this.
That could be you. I could lucky see you doing that.
No one's gonna take me seriously.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. Anyways, let us know if you would vote for us, and hit that like button, hit subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.